Good afternoon, everyone. So once again, I welcome you to this training session. And today we are going to talk about UPVC window designing. Hi, Mama Sultan. So uh, first, let's do some fun activity today because we are talking about designing today. So let's do some fun question to just because I know all of you would be coming here from your job and work. So let's refresh your mind first before starting the session. So as you can see, there are four images below A, B, C, D. So if you will have a top view of this tower, so which of this is correct? So how it will look? If you will look from top, okay. Mm. Okay, Mr. Shahzad Shah is telling D, and then Krishna Kushi also telling D. More answers. We're having 7 people here, so apart from me, there are 6 more people. Okay, Sultan, Mama Sultan is telling C, then Ayush is telling D. Okay, so most of the answers are D. Okay, so the correct answer is D because as you can see, if you will have a top view from here, then you can't see this yellow one, okay, and even you can't see this small brown one. You will be just able to see first this brown panel and then little bit of yellow one from here and then little bit of this brown one. So D is the correct answer. Yeah. So now let's start the main business and learn designing a UPVC window. So here we are going to talk about on what basis you're gonna design. Actually, on what basis you can suggest the options to your client. So that we are gonna talk about today. So how you're gonna design a window? How you're gonna suggest your client that what he should select? So what are the basic? So for that you must know what are the basic requirements of your client. You can't suggest anything to your client. Okay, that you are having a opening and then you just make anything according to you. That won't be preferred. So for designing a window, firstly you need to communicate with the client. You need to ask him that what is his priority and what he wants out of those windows. For example, sound insulation, air insulation, heat reduction, whatever, or he wants cheaper windows, economic windows. So you have to first ask your client what is his requirement, and on that basis you can design a window, and that could be normal requirements are based on budget and based on technicalities, because there are two types of clients. Okay, one is very much price conscious, especially if we'll talk about builders. Okay, the people who just need to make a flat, they just need a UPVC windows for a namesake that yes, my flat is having UPVC windows, and he has to sell those windows to the client. And after that, whatever is happening to the windows are performing or not, hardware is coming out, sash is falling, that doesn't matter to them. So for these type of client, budget, that means they is more important. They are very price conscious and they want economical windows. And when we come to more of people who want the windows for themselves, and they're making huge houses and they want to invest a good amount on good windows. So then we have the second type of clients normally. And there are third type of clients also who are mediocre. So for them, price also matters a bit. And for them, the qualities also matters a bit. So now let's see an example of a situation here. So right now you will consider yourself, okay, this is you and this is your client, and your client's name is Mr. Ajay Kumar. He is an IT engineer and he's 35 years old. So he's building a new house for himself. So your first thing is to ask the client what does he want. Okay, until you know what the client wants, how can you offer him something? So you need to ask him what is his critical requirement, what does he need. So right now, Mr. Ajay Kumar is saying that as you can see that my house is on a main busy road. Therefore, there is a lot of noise, traffic noise and dust. Okay. So this is his critical requirement that his house is on main busy traffic street. So it's very prone to sound and traffic noise. So his main requirement is a sound-free and a dust-free house. So that's what he requires from your Windows. So now here you need to work on his requirement first. And let's see if he wants a dust-free and a sound-free solution, then what are the options we can go for. Can we go for a fixed window? Okay. So now let's in the chat box let's make it a little bit interactive. So fixed window, yes or no, for a sound free and a dust free solution. Type a yes or a no. Okay. Ayu says yes. Ankit Khanna says yes. Jagdish Singh said yes. Okay. Everybody is saying yes, 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 yes. So of course. And casement windows, what do you say? Yes or a no for a sound free solution and a dust free solution? Good. Everybody's saying yes. Nice. Sliding system, a yes or a no? No, 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 no. Good. That means, I mean, many of would have been known earlier, I mean, would be knowing earlier, and many would have been listening to my 95% no. We are not giving any 95%, no percent. If it's a big no, you have to tell your client that no. If you want to go for a sound-free industry solution, then sliding system is a big no. Big no. Tilt and turn, yes. Okay. Rahul, Jagdish, everybody saying yes. Mr. Karan Shah said yes. Now, slide and fold. What do you say? Slide and fold is good or not? Pramila, Ayush, Karan, Ankit, Jagdish, Mohammed Sultan, everybody saying yes. Okay. And one more system we do have, lift and slide. What do you say about lift and slide? It's a yes or a no? Okay. Except, okay, most people are saying Muhammad Sultan, Jagdish, Krishna Joshi. Everybody is saying yes, yes, yes. Ayush Khosla is saying no. And one more person was saying no. He was, I think, Karan Shah. Okay, so now let's see what are the ideal solutions if we are going for the soundproof and the proof solutions. Let's look for the so fixed windows, yes, a big yes. Casement windows, of course. Sliding system, a big no. Okay. Tilt and turn, yes. Slide and fold, yes. Lift and slide, yes. Okay. Lift and slide is a different profile from normal sliding system. So lift and slide does give you soundproof and dust proof solution. And all of us know worst choice if you're going for a soundproof and dust proof solution is sliding system. So why it is not a good choice for a soundproof and a dustproof solution? The reason, as you can see now, we are having three systems here. First one is fixed. As you can see, there's a frame and there is your glass. Casement system, there is a frame, there is a outside opening sash, and there is your glazing bead and a glass. And here we have a two-track system. Then your panels. Okay. So as you can see, here we're having gaskets who are sealing our fixed window. Then here, especially in the case of casement system, we are having two gaskets between your sash and the frame. And here we are having wool pile. Okay. So what happens in case of fixed system? Nothing, the air and sound would be entering through any gap. Okay, because there is no gap and it's been filled by the gasket. And in the case of casement system, this is the role played by these two gaskets, which are between the fixed frame and your sash, that they stop the entry of sound, dust, or air from these points. Okay, and of course, sound for sound glass also plays a major role. But here we are talking about some entry points. So from these points, there would be no entry of any sound or any dust. Whereas in the sliding system, your wool pile doesn't give 100% sealing. Okay, it's a soft structure like wool. So your sound and air would enter somehow from this wool pile and this gaps, because as we all know that the sound and air needs very small space to enter. Until it's sealed properly, it will enter somehow. So as we have seen, these are this is the options. So now we know we don't have to go for sliders. So let's look. We have removed the sliders from these options. So now let's go with other options. Okay. So now let's look at fixed window. So fixed windows are used where we don't need ventilation. Of course, we just need light to enter, and we need to have a view from outside. So, and I think, and in our houses also, we would have seen that we hardly have fixed windows in our rooms, because normally we need ventilation in our rooms. Okay. So we can go for staircase windows with a fixed window, or mainly in rooms and offices or hotels we use, or somewhere in the side we have fixed windows. So if your client needs want to go for a soundproof and airproof solution, they can go for a fixed window. But the thing is, you need to see where that fixed window is coming. If he needs a ventilation there, then we can't go with a fixed window. In a staircase window or in some side windows, we can have fixed windows. But as a main window where he also wants ventilation, we can't go for a fixed window. So and one more thing which we need to consider if we are going for some fixed windows, especially the size of a fixed window. What is the maximum size we can give? Okay, before finalizing the size of windows, first see if the window and especially its glass could be carried to the location. So now here in front of you, you can see it is a three-floor house. Actually, it's a ground plus three floors house. And just imagine you have taken order of a big fixed window, that too with a double glazed glass, which is coming on the third floor. Okay. And you haven't, you find your sales guy went there. Okay. And he finalized it. You have sent the quotation. Everything was well. And you got the advance and done. The window is made. The window is delivered on the site. And at that very moment, when your window is at site, now now you think how this window will go on the third floor. If your staircase is not wide enough, if there is no material lift, how you're gonna carry that window to the fourth floor? Okay. In any case, maybe you can carry frame. Of course, you can hang it with a long rope or something, and it can be carried. But what about the glass? That is a huge double glazed glass. How you're gonna carry it on that top floor? So in that case, now you are stuck because you have already made given the quotation, everything has been finalized. Your client is not going to pay you a single penny more than what he has promised. So now you have to make all this accommodation for any special vehicle or material that the lift which could carry your glass to your location. So there is a huge unexpected cost which you haven't thought about, and whatever margin you would have thought to get from that project will go away in this accommodation for your glass. So before finalizing your windows, especially bigger ones, always check what is your window size and what is the elevator size, what is the staircase size, if you can carry that window to the certain location or not. As I've told you, that frame could be carried, but the biggest problem is your glass, especially big and heavy glasses. So In this case, of course, you will end up making losses because of these unexpected costs. So here there are two ways to save your cost. Firstly, you can make your window with a coupling. Okay, so now as you can see, now we are having three parts. So easily your windows and the glass can be carried. And there's one more option that if you somehow locate that, okay, fine, this way I can carry the frame and only glass is the problem. And if it is a single glass, then you can easily go for a glass joint where there will be minor lines between the glasses. If your client does accept that, then at least the frame could be single and you have glass in three parts and there will be minor glass joints in the center. And second way, already add the lifting cost in the quotation. Okay, before finalizing the quotation, if you have analyzed it that your window can't go to the desired location, then you can before only you can tell your client that, sir, this is the situation. If you're going for this big window and this big glass, then this can't go upstairs. So whatever cost is coming for carrying it, you will be paying it. So one more type of fixed window which we normally see are our bathroom windows. And in bathroom windows we do have our exhaust fans. Okay, and so before there is I mean, this mistake I have done when I joined a UPVC industry in year 2010, right? So I made entire quotation and entire production by this formula. Okay, so there was this exhaust fan 300 by 300 and I left this size to be 300 by 300. But of course I was new and I didn't notice that in this 300, this profile is also coming. Here is the frame coming and here half of the mullion is coming. Here half of the mullion is coming and here is also, here frame is also coming. So of course this space was lesser and these exhaust fans couldn't fit there, and then we have to make some adjustments later on, so it was a loss. So when while going for the exhaust fan sizes, you need to see that what is the inner, okay, what is the inner dimensions, what you're leaving for the exhaust, and if that exhaust would fit there or not. And the same formula we will I mean and the same thing we will apply when, because many times when we have a slider plus bottom fix or any bottom fix or top plus fixed windows, then and people are going for air conditioner space, so same thing applies for the air conditioner also. Okay, when you're leaving the space for air conditioner, leave the space from inside, not from outside. Okay, so this is not fixed window. Don't read it as fixed window. It is casement windows. Okay. So now fixed windows, as we have seen. So we can go for fixed windows, but only for the location where we are don't need ventilation. But now we're talking about casement windows. So casement windows. Now, if you're going for casement windows, now again, of course, where we need ventilation, but casement windows needs space for sash to open. If you're going for outside opening or inside opening, you must, especially while inside opening, you must ensure that you have enough space for the sash to open. Now, if we talk about the maximum sash height, so normally we go for 6 to 6.5 feet of sash height in case of a window. And otherwise you can always, I mean, before giving anything, you must always have a confirmation from your system, that is profile provider. Maybe Veka would go for something else, Mechanic will go for something else, Aliplast will go for something else. So you, these things you always need to confirm from your system provider before going for the maximum heights and widths. But what we say that for a window you can go for 6 to 6.5 feet, and if the sash size height is going more than 6.5 feet, then always give a top fixed. Okay, that way you will reduce the height of your sash. And if we come to a maximum sash width, then we say you can go with maximum 3.5 feet, but still it will always depend on your profile and of course on the sash weight. So for this, for a maximum width, what you can go, first of course you have to consider your profile provider, what they suggest you, that what they prefer. And secondly, yesterday only we have learned about how to calculate a sash weight. So it also depends on your sash weight, especially because as you know that the entire weight of your sash is going to come on your hinges. So you also need to plan that also. What is the reason why we are not going beyond certain width? Because just imagine now this is a flat, okay? This is a flat and we are on the fourth floor, okay? And this is a huge width sash. So the um, operation of this sash would be so difficult. As you can see, it is out, okay? It is outside there. And just imagine if it is on a butt hinge and there is no friction stay or something and somehow it opens, okay, it opens there, then how you are gonna close it? You have to hang somewhere, or you have to tie a rope to operate this big sash. So in case of bigger opening widths, we would always suggest to keep a fixed and then keep a openable sash. Fixed come openable sash. Okay, this we have already calculated, so I am skipping it. This is the formulas for calculating our sash weight. So if somebody, I mean, just type yes or no. I'm not getting a question. How do you put two sashes in casement for mesh and glass? Okay, as in, are you talking about the villa windows in which we have a shutter for mesh also and a shutter for glass also? One goes out and one goes in. Okay, fine. So that is my special series normally, and these companies they call it a villa series. Okay, its frame is also different. Okay, in which it accommodates a space for one sash to open outside and one sash to open inside. So mostly, one sash, two sashes. If you're putting one and one, then one sash will open outside. It'll there will be mesh there, and one sash can open inside, which will have the glass in it. So it is called a villa series, and nowadays most of the companies are giving villa series in their placement profile. So it has the sash profile is same, but here the frame profile is little bit different. Cause of that, it can accommodate both type of sashes, opening outside also and opening inside also. Yep. So now next thing is just calculating sash height. Go through this again, sash weight, or we can skip it. Just type go or skip, because as we have already covered it yesterday. Go, fine, done. Okay, cool. So we are skipping it because we learned it yesterday only. So this part is this is a part of this designing, because we need to have to know our sash weight for selecting our and designing our hardware. Okay, so now let's come just a second to a balcony door. And if you remember, till now we are talking about that Ajay Kumar only, okay? He's finding a solution for soundproof and dustproof solution, and that too for his house, okay? So now, till now we are talking about that Ajay Kumar's perspective only. So we are having this balcony door, which is 8 feet by 8 feet. So just, I mean, you have to imagine that it's Ajay Kumar's house, which is on traffic prone zone. Okay. So now, if we talk about some solutions for his balcony doors where he is wanting soundproof and dustproof solution. So if we talk about French door, we don't go for balcony. They are not ideal for balcony. Okay, because firstly they are expensive. Secondly, they need huge space to open. So they are not ideal for balcony. Yes, of course, we can go for a fixed come and openable door. Sliding system. In other case, if the client was not particular for a soundproof and dustproof thing, then of course sliding system is the ideal solution for a balcony because they doesn't need any space to open neither inside nor outside. So that's why people prefer sliding system for balconies. But in this case, our client is very specific that he needs an dustproof and a soundproof solution. Therefore, we are not going for sliding system, and therefore it's a big cross in this case. Okay, in other case it could be a yes if your client is not so particular about soundproofing and dustproofing. Then lift and slide, yes, we can go for lift and slide system. And otherwise we can go for slide and fold also, but that is so expensive, so people don't go so much for slide and fold system for their balconies. Height, Ankit ji is asking that height can be 10 feet or 9 feet because in UDMA, normally we recommend it should be 8 feet or 8.5 feet. Otherwise, because normally normal profiles, they uh, support a height of 8.5 feet, but nowadays there are many companies who are coming with big and heavy profiles and they assure that they can go for 10 feet. So before finalizing the maximum height you can give for your sashes or your sliders or anything, casement doors, whatever, you need to consult your profile, your system provider, that what is the maximum height I can give. Baki, as Udma, we say 8 to 8.5 feet. Okay. And if it's going more than that, we have to give a top fix there. But yes, but if your profile provider they affirms you and they say that yes, you can go with this profile, then you can go. Okay, so what to do when the client needs sliding window system? Because as I've told you that sliding has an advantage, especially for balconies, because it does the panels slide left and right, and they don't need the space for opening the sash in or out. So what to do? Now your client is saying, no, I can't go with the casement system. I don't have space inside. I don't have a space outside, but I need ceiling also. Now, what you're gonna do? So in this case, you can suggest your client that he can have lift and slide system. Lift and slide system, its profile is entirely different from slide and fold, and the main advantages because why? What is the reason sliding system is not able to give you 100% ceiling because of the wool pile? As we have seen in casement system, we are having gasket, okay, which is filling the gap and sealing the gap between the sash and the frame. But in the sliding system, this thing is done by wool pile. That's why it is not able to give you 100% sealing. Whereas in case of lift and slide, you do have gaskets. You do have gaskets for filling the gap between the sash and the frame. So that's why they are giving you 100% sealing. So you can go for a lift and slide system if the client wants sliding system also and sealing also. But and of course, the movement of the sash is very smooth in case of lift and slide system. But yes, there is and they are little more expensive than lift and slide. Sliding system. It will be little more expensive, but yes, it can give you much better functionality than a sliding system. So I have a question here from Mr. Ankit. Up to what percentage of ceiling can we expect from a sliding? I mean, I can't tell you what percentage of ceiling can give because at the end of the day, the sound will come at the end of the day. There will be dust inside, and somehow the air will also travel inside. So percentage wise, I can't say anything that what percentage. 80% maybe, but 20% to at least. I mean, that's just my assumption. According to my experience, I'll say 80%. But don't take it I mean, as a thing that I have told you. But that's just my assumption. Maybe 80% and 20% it's not given. But there is no person now. If client wants sound and it's coming inside, then percentage doesn't matter, because at the end of the day the purpose for which the client wants, it's not fulfilling. So I will always say, before finalizing it, make it clear to your client, then it's his decision what he wants to go for. He wants to go for economic option or a better option. Lift and slide section wise, actually right now I'm not having. We are having team Decanic here. Team Decanic, are you having lift and slide options in your profile? Team Decanic, do you have Decanic does have a left and slide system? Yes, they do have. So, Mr. Karancha, you can share your email ID or something, your number with Mr. Praveen. He can share this with you. Okay, thank you so much. So, right now also, don't forget, we are talking about that client only who is conscious about his dust proofing and soundproofing. So, now if we are going for the fixed calm casement door design. So now, if you remember, when I was telling you about casement doors, I told you that when you also asked me that why do we need a threshold? In India, nobody uses threshold, not even in wooden doors. But if your client is very particular about soundproofing and dustproofing, then in case of external doors, your balcony door especially, you will have to give him threshold. Okay. And if your client is is not ready to have threshold, he doesn't want a threshold, then you have to tell him that, sir, if the threshold won't be there, then even if you go by expensive double glazed glass, which is ideal for stopping that sound, then somehow your sound is going to travel inside. The dust is going to travel inside. I can't assure you what you are needing, that perfect soundproofing and perfect dust proofing. And if you want to go for perfect dust proofing and soundproofing, then I will recommend you to go with the threshold. But after that, it's your client's choice. But it's your duty to make these things very clear to your client. And I'm telling you, okay, if there is some other company, okay, who is also, because as we all know, competition is so much and so many people approach, and if there are maybe three more companies, okay, who have given this quote, who have visited the site, and if you will point out these things to your client, that's so this is the scenario, this is the scenario, then based on the suggestions, the technical expertise which you're going to your client, I'm telling you, he will automatically tend towards you. He will come to you. Even if your quotation would be a little more higher than the other ones, then the client will come to you definitely, because these things, they kind of give an assurity to the client that these people, this company is the people are trained, they're having knowledge, and it will be good for me to associate with them in future. And if in future any problem will come, then they will be there for me. So the client gets kind of an assurity and safety when you're giving so much and telling some technical things to him. Okay, so don't worry about losing that. If I'll say that, then I'll lose the client. No, if you're telling correct things to the client, at the end he will come to you. I'm telling you, because nowadays the client doesn't prefer so much selling. Client prefers uh, a person who can guide him and who can tell him and about the expert things. This we will learn late, and especially in our sales class. Okay, all these aspects. Okay, So this design where we are not going, where threshold is not there, we won't be going with that. We will be going with the design with the threshold in the case we are talking about the perfect insulation. So slide and fold, they are very good, but the thing is, they looks very good on huge openings. And secondly, of course, they give 100% ceiling, but they are too expensive. So not all the clients could afford them, and maybe on just one opening they can have where there is a big huge opening. For the small openings on 8 by 8 and all, and especially for balcony, people never go for slide and fold systems. Okay. And if we come to tilt and turn, so tilt and turn, so technicalities are same as casement windows. Of course, they are going to give you 100% ceilings, but the only issue is they are going to open inside. So before promising tilt and turn windows to your client, you have to tell them that, so these are going to open inside. So you need a space inside your room where these window could open. Okay, so here is a small question. So for this exhaust of size 400 by 400, which design, ABC option, which option you are gonna go for? Okay, Mama Sultan, Mr. Jagdish, Praveen, Ayush, Karan Shah. People are saying B, and yes, we're going with B because, as I've told you, we have to take the measurements internally, not externally, because if we'll take the measurements externally, then it will also include the size of the frame and half of your mullion. Okay. So which is the worst solution for soundproofing? Actually, we already know that, but okay, fine, still. Type a quick answer and then we'll skip. Good, 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 good. So it is C. We all know by now. Okay. So which casement window is correct for this opening? Okay, we have an opening of size 2000 by 900. Okay. So which design you are gonna give? Okay. Many people are saying C. Ankit Khanna is saying A. Karan Shah is saying C. Ankit Malhotra is saying C. Okay. Mohammed Sultan is saying B. Shazad is saying B. Okay, so now let's dissect the answer. What we're gonna let. Yeah. So the opening is 2000 by 900 and it's a casement window. Okay, it's not a casement door. If it would have been a door, then of course we would easily have given A. Okay, but recently, if you remember, I've told you for a maximum height of 6 or 6.5 feet, we'll go with the window. Otherwise, we'll give a top fix. So this is a second. Let me start my pen. Okay. So for this, it's a big no. Okay, it's a casement window and it's 2000 until your system provider says okay, you can give, you can give. And here we are talking about in normal context. Okay, so we are not going with option A. Now in option B and C, both we are having top fixed, right? Okay, it is B. It would be 3. So here, of course, we can go with, okay, let me make it 2 and then it will be 8, right? So now in this case, of course, it is 8, it is coming to 6 feet, but you also need to look up. It is just 200 mm and 200 mm is very less, okay? In this 200 mm, about 40 mm would be your profile here and 40 mm your profile would be here and then some bead would be visible, then some bead would be visible, then the space would be very less. Can you imagine? It's lesser than 1 feet. 1 feet is 305 mm. and it's lesser than 1 feet, then hardly, I mean, it will look very awkward. It will look very weird. Just 200 mm as a very thin fixed part and then a big sash below. So that's why we always say that you have to at least the top part should be at least 1 feet or more. Okay, smaller than that doesn't looks nice. Yeah, if your window is very small, then of course, but 200 to never. Okay, you won't ever give just 200 fixed above. That will look very bad and very weird, and especially this just a second, especially it will be very critical now, this would be fine, but when you will be fixing this glazing bead, this small glazing bead, it will be very difficult for the production team also to do this when you're going for just 200 top fix. So when you're giving a top fix, always try to make it 3 feet or above. 3.5 feet, sorry, 1 feet, I mean 305 or above. So 1 feet, 1.5 feet is always good. Baki to it depends on the size of the cavity, but you will never go for lesser than 1 feet. Okay, not lesser than 305 Which casement window is correct for this opening? Tell me which design you will go for this opening. If you have opening of 3000 feet it's width and 1500 is the height. Okay, so without any delay, everybody's typing B. Yes, it's B of course. Here we can't go because the width of the panel would be 1500. That will be huge. 5 feet. Okay. And then here, okay, we are keeping it 4 feet, but here center we are giving 600 fix, which is looking very weird and odd. So we won't be going for this. And this design looks pretty and workable also. So we can go with this. Otherwise also, I mean, you can make it according to you. For example, you can give 750 here, 750 here, and then rest you can give fixed. So it depends. You can work the design according to you and your client. Okay. So now Mr. Ajay's problem we have solved based on his location, based on his windows, based on the prices. Now we have one more client. Okay, his name is Mr. Karan Mittal. He's a builder. As you can see, he's a builder. So what he does, he makes buildings. He gets some windows installed and then he sells his flats. And then after that, it doesn't matter to him what's happened to the flat, what's happened to the windows. It's no worries for him. So now you go and meet Mr. Karan Mittal and you ask him, so what's your critical requirements? Okay. And his one and only requirement is the solution should be economical because I don't want to spend so much money. So here let's see for Mr. Karan Mittal's project, he goes for an economical option. So what all options he can go for? Chalo, come on, open a chat box. Let's discuss this. Fixed window. No, only type yes or no. Okay. Fixed window, yes. Just type yes. Okay. Ankit, can I say no for fixed windows? Do you think fixed windows are economical option or not? Okay. Okay. Yes. So everyone is saying it is an economical option. Fine. Uh, let's see it's suitable or not. But yes, now right now we're talking about economical option. So fixed window could be an economical option. Okay, done. Casement windows. Casement windows, are they economical option? Okay, there is a mixed opinion about it between some yeses and some nos. Okay, sliding system. Yes. Okay. Tilt and turn. Tilt and turn. Okay, everybody saying no, 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 because everybody knows that its hardware is quite costly. Slide and fold, I think everybody knows it's a big no for slide and fold. And for Lift and slide. Also, it's a big no. Okay. So let's see what we think. Fixed windows, of course, we can go for fixed windows. Casement windows, yes. In case we are not going for mesh options, okay, we're not going for any shutter mesh or we're not going with any pull down or plated mesh. Casement windows could be considered as economical option. Sliding system, of course, they are the most economical option. Cylinder, no. Centerfold, no. Left and slide, no. So now let's come and see that there is a huge opening. This window opening we are having, it's approximately 16 feet and the height is 5 feet. So let's see what are some options we can have for here. A 4-panel slider, we can have a 4-panel slider, but and then we can have a slider like this where we are having a big fixed panel at the center and then two small sliding panels at both the sides. Or next option, we can give one fixed panel and then we can give a small uh, a small panel. Okay, Mr. Praveen is telling we can go for a monorail system also. Then we'll talk about monorail. I mean, actually, we'll hear about monorail from Mr. Praveen at the end of the session. Okay. So these are some few options which you can give, but now you have to think. First, tell me, is a 4-panel slider is an economical option? Is it economical? No. Ankit Khanna is saying no. Praveen is saying yes. Jagdish is saying no. Muhammad is saying no. Sultan Ayush is saying no. And yes, of course. It is no. It is not an economical option. Just imagine we are having 4 panels. So much profile is there. So much reinforcement is there. It's not at all hardware. All 4 panels would be having rollers and hardware. So no, it is not at all an economical option. Wैसे it is a good solution if we are if our client is not price conscious, then of course for such an opening the first and best option would be a 4-panel slider. But as we all know that Mr. Karan Mittal is very conscious about the price, so no, we are not giving him this option. Second option is this one. Are we giving this? Can we give this? Yes or no? Jagdish Singh, Ayush Khosla are saying yes. Any more suggestions? Ankit Khanna is also saying yes. Yes can be opted. Mama Sultan says that. Okay. Everybody is saying yes. Fine. But yeah, it is fine, but it is not so economical option. Okay. If your client wants really cheap windows, then still this is not an ideal option. We can work out more cheaper options than this. Okay, now we're talking about this, where we are having a small a moving panel and a big fixed panel. Okay, so everybody's saying a big yes for this option. Big yes. Okay, Mama Sultan is saying a big yes. One fixed, one casement. Yeah, we'll come to all options also. Okay, yes. So it is a big yes for this option. But the only thing now, if you now go in the flashback, okay, that now the glass is too big. Okay, it is if it's 16 feet and even if our because the maximum sash width which we can give in a slider is also 4 feet or 4.5 feet. Beyond that, you must always consult your system provider that you can go beyond 4 feet or 4.5 feet or not. But we as Odma, we recommend most should be 4.5 feet, 4 feet. No, you can't go beyond that. So even if the slider width is 4 feet, okay, then 12 feet is right here, okay, and giving a glass of 12 feet and 5 feet, I wouldn't recommend. Firstly, how you will carry it. Secondly, it can get damaged. Safety wise, it's not preferred. And then if you wanna go for such a huge glass, then you will need to increase the glass thickness. And when you will increase the glass thickness, then of course the cost will rise up. So That's why we don't prefer to give such huge classes. So for cost reduction, what you can do, you can give a Boolean here, okay, which will be fixed in this fixed sash, okay, because if you will be, so as you can see that this design, it is matching with this one, okay, it is giving quite similar look to this design, but here we're not having an extra sash, not an extra panel, no extra hardware, so it is much cheaper than that design. So to reduce the glass size, we can add a mullion in the sash panel. Yes, yeah, and it's look identical. Also, some people do like this. Let me tell you. Okay, yeah. So Mr. Ankit Khanna was telling that we can give a casement plus a fix. Yes, of course, we can give a case. Yeah, this is also very economical option. Then, as I've told you, glass size could be a problem. So you can give a mullion like this or like this. Many people put this mullion in the center. But if you will say design wise, then it always looks better. No? If the gap is same of the sash size and the this distance for the mullion. And at the end, it also depends on the glass size. What is the maximum glass size you can give? Okay, so now we are talking about the options. For the economical one, for that opening, we are not going for 4 panel window. We are not going for, we can opt for this, but not in a certain way. Okay, I'll give it a 50% only. But these are, of course, client would be loving it if he wants really cheap windows and workable models. For a sash height, for a window, right now here we're talking about. So for sash height, we'll go for 6 feet. Okay, it should be lesser than 6 feet in case of sliding windows. Otherwise, you can always ask your system provider. But we prefer it 6 feet or lesser, or maximum 6.5 feet. Okay, for a sliding window. And for that, and if it's going beyond that, even if it is a window, okay, it's not a door I'm talking about. If it is a window and your client doesn't prefer a top fix, then we will recommend you to go for a door sash instead of a window sash. If the window height is 8 feet and the client doesn't want a top fixed, then go for a door sash. Or you can ask your system provider that can I use a window sash profile for an 8 feet tall window. The reason why I'm telling you to always consult your profile manufacturer is because they know the technicalities of the profile, what's the maximum height they can go, what's the maximum load they can take. So because in any case, if any miss happening or anything happens in the future, then your profile provider is not going to take any guarantee or warranty or any liability for the damage that happened. Okay. So it's always good if you're going, if you're having something new or you're going beyond the limits, then always consult your profile provider, your system provider for the specifications that what's the maximum you can go for. Okay. And if we come for sash width, then it should be greater than 1.5 feet. Why I'm telling 1.5 feet? Because just imagine a slider of just, because as you can see, this is the entire width, right? And from this width also you will be subtracting this frame. Okay, this is the only space which is left for the sash. And if it is lesser than 1 feet, then from this 1 feet also you will be subtracting this sash. This bead come here, the sash will be coming here, this bead will, then hardly, and this panels would be so small, and such small panels are very hard to fabricate also in production also. Very huge, I mean big problems comes while making smaller sash, smaller size sashes or frames, because there's some problem comes while welding, and especially while glazing, huge problem occurs, and at the same time it doesn't look good. Okay, you are having a small slider with small sashes, it doesn't look good, and especially if the height of your opening is big, if your height of the opening is big, and then you're having just 1 feet panels, then it won't be looking good. At the same time, while operating, there'll be problem. And for a sliding door sash, we recommend that the width should be greater than 2.5 feet and lesser than 4 feet. Baki, you can ask your system provider about the maximum width. But here I am telling 2.5 feet because just imagine that if you are giving a sliding door and the width of the panel is not even 2 feet, then how people are going to pass through it? Okay. So that's why the width 2.5 feet I'm talking about per sash width. Okay. And for sliding door, the height of the door should be greater than 6 feet and lesser than 8.5 feet. Otherwise, also, as I've told you, if your opening is 9 feet or 10 feet and the client doesn't want a top fix, then always before committing anything to the client or installing anything there, always consult your system provider that can I go with this height or not. Are you having any solutions? Because nowadays many profiles companies are coming with solutions where you can go for higher heights also. Then maybe not X profile of that company, but maybe a Y profile, you can go with that height. So you have to consult your system provider for that. So yeah, as I've told you, if we are going for a height more than 8 feet, then we'll try to give a top fixed above. And before giving top fix also, please always see that what top fix you are giving. Okay. It should look proportionate to the door size. Then here 10 feet, of course, we are not giving 10 feet until your system provider allows you for that. So now we are having here two options. Many times we do have this option also. Instead of top fix, we are having bottom fixed. But always remember one thing, whenever you are giving bottom fix, then please try to give a mullion at the base, okay? Because the entire weight of this window, okay, it is coming here on the glass, okay? So it's better to always give a mullion. It gives support and stability to your window above, okay? So whenever you are giving a top bottom fix, then try to give, please give a mullion at the center, okay, to which can take the load of your window or window above. So here also it's the same. Here we are calculating sash weight of a sliding system. The formulas are exactly same. That's why I'm skipping it. Hmm. So now tell me which sliding window is the correct for this opening. Okay, we're talking about window, not door, guys. Okay. I'm not getting any answers. Okay, now somebody is. Okay, you were analyzing. Huh? Yeah, I've got an answer for A. Mohammed says C. Ayush says A and C. Karan Shah says A. Ankit Malhotra says A. Krishna Joshi says C. Okay, so many answers are wrong. Now let me tell you the clue. Okay, right now I think you're only looking towards the height of the sash. Please also consider the width of the sash. Okay, please also consider the width of the sash. As I've told you, we won't go beyond 4 feet weight. Okay, that comes around 1200 mm. Yep. so, so Krishna Joshi changed his answer immediately. Good. Fine. So now let's see the option. So now we are having an opening of width 2000, height 2000 and width 4000. So Let's start from B. Okay, so B is a big no. As you guys can see, it is a window. Okay, it is a window, and we are not going for 2000 window. Okay, we'll go maximum to 6 or 6.5 feet. Okay, firstly, the height is a problem. Secondly, width. If it is a 4000 opening, that means one sash will come to 2000 and we are maximum we are going for is 1200, that is 4 feet. So that's why both the things are big no, height also and width also. Now let's look at option C. Height we have worked for about 1600, fine, done. 400, fine, it is good. This is also fine, this is also fine, but as you can see here, our sash will come to 2000 so this is a big no. Now let's come to option A. This is perfect. This is perfect. So now what here we have done? We have given the width of a moving panel 1200 and rest we are keeping fixed. So we can easily go with this option. Okay, so one thing I want to clear about when I was talking about 4 feet of width, it was concerning the moving panel. Okay, we can keep a width of a fixed panel more, but for a moving panel, we need to keep just 4 feet because a moving panel is the panel which is carrying all the load. Okay, all entire sash weight is coming on your rollers. Okay, so moving panel is the concern that we have. Fixed panel we don't have much concern. It depends on the size of the glass, the maximum size of the glass you can take, or the maximum size of sash you can carry to your respective location, and rest you can confirm from your system provider. So this 4 feet we were concerning about the moving panel. So we are going with option A. So here we come with our last topic. So here we are talking about this this is concerning the windows that we give in high-rise buildings, and that are starting from the base. Okay, so here we say that it should be at least 1050 above the ground. So the max, it should be at least 1050. If it is the base of the ground, then at least the sill level, the stone level plus your fixed part should be at least 1050 because of the safety reasons. And if your window is starting from the ground only, then this fixed part should be at least 1050. So above, so including your wall size, your wall height, your fixed part, the bottom part should be at least 1050 from the perspective of security, because many kids they fall, they prone to fall down. So in this case, what is happening if the wall is just 100 okay, and the fixed part is 610 So here we are trying to give rail bars, that is some grill type of thing, till the height of 1050 for the safety purpose, so that somebody doesn't easily falls out of the window. So here we are done for today. But as we remember that last time our one section was remaining, so now we shall cover this one. The structure of the division of glass on basis of the structure. So here we can have single glass, a double or triple glaze insulated glass, low E glass, laminated or security glass. Wide glass we won't talk about much because it's not so much used in UPVC windows. Okay. Single glass, as the name suggests, it is just a single unit of glass. So as it is one single unit, so it gives you least sound insulation and thermal insulation. And generally, it can vary a lot, but normally people in windows, they use from 5 to 12 It can be more also. But normally, generally, single glass goes, I mean, in UPVC windows, people do use for 5 mm to 12 mm, but yeah, more options are also available, and it is based on client's choice. The nomenclature, normally, how these glasses are named. First, the thickness. When we see in any quotation or production sheet, normally what nomenclature is followed for single glass is first you are mentioning the thickness, then what's the color. As I whispered yesterday about clear, reflective, tinted. If it's reflective, then what colors reflective, then toughened or non-toughened. If we talk about insulated or double glass, so these are two glasses which are separated and there is a space between them. Okay, so which is giving them thermal for thermal insulation and for condensation control. So the air space between these glasses, okay, it could be either dry air or either you could fill it with some low conductivity gas. So what is a low conductivity gas? So right now just picturize ourselves. Okay, hum sab, we are sitting in one room. I am saying something and you can hear me, right? Why you can hear my sound? You can hear me? Because my sound is traveling. There are some particles in the air, okay, which we can't see. Small atoms, molecules, which are floating in the air, we can't see. And those molecules are uh, taking my sound from me to you. Okay, so my sound is traveling from me to you through these molecules and atoms, which we can't see with the naked eyes. So if we're sitting in a room and I fill this room with very high conductivity gas. High conductivity gas means whose molecules move at a very fast pace. Then you would be able to hear me much faster. Okay, my sound will travel much faster. Similarly, if I will fill the room with the low conductivity gas, then you would be able to hear me slower. My sound will take some time to reach you because it's the same funda. Okay, if you're sitting in a fast car, you will reach your destination faster. If you're sitting in a slower car, then you will reach your destination slower. So this airspace can be filled with either dry gas, with either dry air or low conductivity gases. What are low conductivity gases? Whose molecules and atoms, they move at a very slow pace. So normally sulfur hexafluoride or argon gas is very much used for soundproofing glasses. And generally, this gap in case of windows and doors, it is observed. It's 10 mm or 12 mm. Normally, generally, I'm talking about. And these glasses are very much people do like them for the sound insulation because as you can see, there is a gap between the two glasses, so they give good insulation, thermal also, and sound also. And how the normal insulator is done? Firstly, there is thickness of glass, then of course the color, and then toughen, non-toughen, then slash. What is the air gap? Okay, as I've told you, there is a gap between the two glasses. So what is the air gap? It is mentioned, and then again the name of the second glass, outer glass. And then as you can see here, we have having 8 mm green non-toughened glass, then 12 mm glass, and then 5 mm clear toughened glass. So total thickness would come to 8 plus 12, that is the air gap, plus 5. So that the total thickness of the glass is 25 mm. And if you remember, we studied during our profile systems that single bead, double bead, right? So in case of these double glasses, we go with double bead. And on depending on the glass thickness, the bead thickness would change. Okay, so this is how your structure of your DG glasses are. First, you're having glass one. Then there is a spacer. It looks like a metal round thing. And then you have a sealant. And then in center you are having airspace. Here you can, as I've told you, you can have dry air or you can have your low conductivity gas. Then you have your glass, normal, and how you're naming it. First your glass one, then air gap, then glass two. For example, your 8 mm green reflective non-toughened glass, then you're mentioning the air gap, and then you're mentioning the 5 mm clear toughened glass. So here I am having a question from Mr. Karan Shah that the naming which you are doing is for outer glass first or inner glass first. So I am also having a little confusion for this, but I would request Mr. Ankit Khanna to answer this question, that while giving name to the double glass, first we name outer glass or inner. Okay. Ayush Khosla is saying it is outer. Okay. So first the glass one would be your outer glass, then your okay, he's saying outer glass should be toughened. Okay, and my question is, while you not name it, then your outer glass comes first or your inner glass comes first? Outer. Okay. So first, so glass one is our outer glass. Then we mention our air gap, and then glass two would be our inner glass. And I'm having and Mr. Just a second. Okay, and Mr. Krishna Joshi is also telling that the outer glass should be toughened. So working, how does this double glass works? How does it give you insulation? So let's look how it works, okay? Especially in case of sound insulation, how does it works? It is a sound. It is a any mode of sound it could be. So the sound falls on the glass. So what happens? Uh, Major of your sound, it is absorbed by the gap between the glass. Okay, it goes there, and then much of the sound is reflected back from the outer glass only, and then your sound is also absorbed by the glass. So a very less amount of sound is transmitted. So major amount of your sound is it goes in the airspace, in the air gap, then it is absorbed by the glass and it's reflected back by the glass. So a very minor amount of sound it comes inside. So now let's talk about low E glass, that is low emissivity glass. It is the glass, it is mainly used for heat reduction. When you don't want heat to enter your house, it is very much recommended. Let's see how it works. It is also kind of a double glazed glass. Okay. Then let's see. So it is the exterior and it is the interior. It is a DGU unit. It is a glass, outer glass, inner glass. Then on the outer glass inner side, okay, on the outer glasses inner side, we have a low E layer. That is low emissivity layer. And how does it work? How does this layer work? So as you can see, sun rays are falling. And if you remember, let's go back into our school days, okay, when we used to study science and we were studying light, okay. So sunlight, it carries three types of rays: UV rays, visible light, and infrared rays. UV rays we can't see UV rays and infrared rays. We can only see visible light. So the light which we can see which is coming out of the sun is the visible light. There are two more rays which are not visible to us. UV rays, they are the harmful rays. Okay, when we keep our plastic things outside, they fade because of UV rays. When we are too much outside in the sun, our skin gets rashes or burnt. That is because of UV rays, ultraviolet rays. These are the harmful rays. And second, a visible light, which we can see. And third one is infrared rays, IR rays. These are the rays which are responsible for the heat. The heat which we feel are because of infrared rays. In fact, all these heater and the equipments which give heat, okay, those instruments, those things are radiating infrared rays. So from heater and all, we get infrared rays. So now let's come to this low E glass. So as you can see, now sun rays are falling on the glass. So what happens? The visible light, this low E layer, it allows the visible light to pass through. Okay, because that's what we need. If you remember when we were studying glass, we wanted that the U value should be less, the shading coefficient should be less, but the light should be good because we need light, but we don't want heat to come in. So it will allow the visible light to pass in and it will reflect back infrared rays and UV rays. At the same time, now this scenario is in case of summer. Okay, in case of summer, this scenario is working. But now imagine it's winter. Okay, it's winter and it's pretty cold. So in winters, what it will do? In winters, when we use this heaters inside, and as I've told you, heaters are radiating what? Infrared rays. So when then that infrared rays will reflect back inside your house only. So your house would be warmer in if you are using low E glass in case in winters, if you are using heaters to warm your house. So here we're talking about the day hot climate and here we're talking about the cool climates. So now the next one is laminated glass. Laminated glass are, the second I've got yes, reflective glass and low E glass are different. Low E glass have a low E layer inside, okay, and reflective glass has a metallic oxide coating outside. A reflective glass may be DG, may not be DG, but low E glass is double glaze. Yes, reflective glass and low E glass are entirely different glasses. And low E glass is very much expensive. Okay, so now let's see what the laminated glass is. Laminated glass is a kind of a sandwich glass where there are two glasses and they are bind together with a PVB layer, a flexible layer which is called a PVB, that is polyvinyl butyryl layer. Like this, there is glass 1, then we have PVB layer, and then we have glass 2. So PVB layer is a polyvinyl butyryl layer. It is a very flexible layer. It's elastic. So how does it perform? So when there is any extra force is coming from outside, so how so this force it distributes. Okay, so it's goes inside the PVB layer. That's why it doesn't transfer entire shock to the glass. Okay, that shock is distributed and transmitted in the layer only. So that's why it will take some time for a laminated glass to break. So it is radiating, it is transmitting the shock across the layer and across the glass also. And after breaking, the glass doesn't fall off. It's keep on sticking to the PVB layer only. So it's safety wise, it's good, and security wise, it's also good. So if we'll talk about safety and security, then we will give 10 on 10 numbers to a laminated glass. So nomenclature, same thing the way we were naming WGS glass. Here, just instead of glass, the air gap, we mention the thickness of a PVB layer. And the thickness of a PVB layer, a single layer is 0.38. And then if you want to go for more, then you will be using 2 layers. And if you want to go for more, then you will be going for 3 layers. So it will be always a multiple of 0.38 mm. So here, as we can see, the total glass thickness would become to 8 plus what is the thickness of your PVB layer, and then the next glass 5. So approximately the thickness of are these glasses 13.76 mm. So we'll be selecting our glazing bead based on this glass thickness. Here we are comparing the three glasses: anneal glass, tempered glass, and laminated glass. As you can see, anneal glass, it breaks off in sharp edges. It's tempered glass or toughened glass. It's breaking in small pieces, and it won't be hurting you. And then laminated glass, even after breaking, the pieces keep sticking on the PVB layer. So now let's come to some questions. So which of these glasses give best sound insulation? We're talking about sound here. A, laminated. B, DGU, that is double glaze. Or low E glass or single glass. Okay. So normally everybody's telling that it's B. Yes, for sound insulation, we are going for B. But yeah, one thing very interesting, Mr. Karan Shah has told that it could be C also. Yes, of course, C is also double glazed glass. So yes, we can say C also. Very good for the observation. Okay. So which glass gives maximum safety and security? It's laminated, double, low E, or single. Okay, unanimously, everybody is saying A. So we are going for A. For a double glaze, we are not saying for safety and security, because safety kind of, especially because if double glass will break and if it is non-toughened, then it could come on you and it could hurt you. Whereas in case of laminated glass, even if it is non-toughened, the pieces would be sticking on the PVB layer also only. So it won't be hurting you. So for safety and security, we are going for A. Maximum heat resistance, okay, or we can say maximum heat entrance. Who stops maximum heat entrance? Okay, good. So Mohammed Sultan, Praveen, Karan Shah, Deepak Kumar, everybody's saying it's C. Yes, it's C, because we do have our low E layer to help us entering the heat inside. Okay, so which class is this? Yeah, Mohammed Sultan says B, Karan Shah says B, Praveen also says B, Ramila also says B, and everybody is unanimously saying B, and yes, it is B. Okay, which is this glass? Which is this broken glass? Okay, Karan Shah, Pramila, Mohammed Sultan, Jagdish Singh. Everybody's saying it's A, and yes, it is A, because as we can see that after breaking also, with Deepak Kumar, Krishna Joshi, everybody's saying A, because after breaking also, the pieces are sticking on the PVB layer, so they're not falling off. So that's why it is a laminated glass. Good. So I think now we have come. It is on the side where sunlight is there. Okay, because it is reflecting back the major amount of sunlight. And if it is reflecting the major amount of sunlight, then the glass is also not getting heated through the conduction process, and it won't be radiating the heat inside. Okay, so here it is doing both the things. It is reflecting back the sunlight, so direct heat is also not entering, as well as the heat through conduction is also not entering. Now let's compare the same scenario with a tinted glass. If you are recommending your client, because people think that tinted glass is dark, so it will stop the sunlight. So they recommend their client, or even if the client is asking for tinted glass, on the side where your building is facing sunlight, direct sunlight. So in that case, if you are giving tinted glass to the client where it is facing direct sunlight, so what will happen? This direct light and tinted glass are darker in colors, okay, and they are not reflecting back the heat, so entire heat is falling on them. So maybe the visible light is not entering inside, but what happens, they get heated with time, and then they are radiating the heat through the process of conduction. So reflective glass are best, especially on that face of the building which is facing direct sunlight. And tinted glass are not uh, meant where the building is facing direct sunlight. Maybe the other face where direct sunlight is not falling, you can give a tinted glass, but where direct sunlight is falling, always go for a reflective glass. Okay, any more questions, anybody? Okay. What is the difference between heavy coupling and the mullion? Their work is different. Mullion, what mullion is doing? Mullion is describing. Just a second. I'll come to you, Ankit Malhotra. Just 2 seconds. Let me just complete with Mama Suzanne's question. Okay. So mullion is giving a different solution. Okay. It is dividing your frame between two parts. Whereas what a coupling is doing, it is joining your two windows. So if you have a big opening, okay, and especially for very big openings, we would never like to go for a mullion option, because when we are having big frames, they are sometimes difficult to carry to the location, okay, and small frames are always easy to carry. Secondly, if it's a big window with a mullion as compared to a big window with a coupling, so at the time, especially in case of windy and airy areas where air is flowing a lot, then a design with coupling is much more stronger than a design with mullion. In the same and scenario where we're having smaller windows, we won't be going with coupling, because coupling looks weird and bad when it's smaller windows, because they take a lot of space. The frame, then coupling, then frame. So in the case of bigger windows, we will never go for mullion, especially if it's in the front and if it's very wind prone area, because couplings, windows with couplings are much more easier to carry. At the same time, they are much more stronger. Can we have a workshop on cost analysis? Installation guidelines tomorrow. Mm, let's vote for it, because tomorrow is the last session. You can type in if you want to go for installation or if you want to go for sales. We just type installation or sales. We will count the votes and then we will take it forward. Okay, Ayush says it's installation. Come on. Installation, 2 votes for installation. Third also installation. Fourth also installation. Okay, guys, fine. We are doing an installation. Fine, done. So you have voted install. We can't do both now, installation and costing on the same day. It's not possible. So costing, as in just Ankit, I'm just unmuting you now. You can talk. I mean, you can tell me costing in which perspective you are saying costing. I'm just unmuting you. You can ask me. A second. Yeah, Ankit, please. Yeah, Mr. Ankit, please tell me. Just a second. Mr. Ankit Malhotra, you were asking me about costing thing. Okay, I've unmuted you. I mean, please unmute yourself. Now I've allowed to unmute. Then you can tell your query in detail. Please unmute yourself, Mr. Ankit Malhotra, and then you can tell.